I find it pretty funny that all of a sudden the WNBA players are talking more about the refs as we get closer to the CBA deadline. And Lexie Brown, we're going to play the clip in a moment, talks about last year how fans came in and started watching WNBA and that the game is very physical and they shouldn't complain when Caitlin Clark gets poked in the eye or there's a foul that should be called, and this is how the league goes and you just got to adjust the physicality. But we fast forward to 2025. Nafisa Collier talks about the refs. Her coach called out the refs. We even saw Becky Hammon talk about the refereeing. Now we're seeing players and coaches from last year who were saying it's a physical game change their tone. How convenient. You see, it's not just a Indiana Fever situation, even though they had 6 players injured this year, and it was very egregious. There was calls that were not made. But it's been a problem since fans have started paying more attention to the WNBA last year. Nothing has changed when it comes to the incompetence of the referees. And if the league doesn't get this under control, it's only going to get worse. And the players, which I don't get, they much rather have Caitlin Clark go through all the ups and downs, get calls not her way. They'd rather her not be protected because she's getting all this attention and see the product suffer. And all of a sudden, because it's happening to the players, they want to bring it to light. How convenient. And then you want to just bring attention to it because you have a CBA coming up if you don't agree to a new deal. And it's like, all right, well, we tried and we wanted to tell you guys, we do care. I don't know. It's just really fishy to me. But let me play what Lexie Brown had to say here. Again, she wasn't sure about Caitlin Clark at first, and then she came on board and said she's the real deal. But here's what she had to say about the matter.
All of a sudden, like this over physical, crazy basketball has become acceptable in the W. Like, it was cool, like, last year at the beginning when people were like, I mean, it wasn't cool last year because we know what the narrative last year was about the physicality of the league. But I thought it also was a good thing to see like how physical the W really is and how it's just such a major leap from college to pros.
So it's cool or not cool? I'm a little confused there because a lot of fans last year were pointing out the fact that, hey, why isn't the refs stepping in to take control of a game? Why is it that when Caitlin Clark gets poked in the eye, no one does anything? Even her logo threes, players were stepping in her shooting lane and calls were not made. Like DeWanna Bonner stepped in her shooting lane and it was an air ball, but they didn't call a foul. So when you see that in the NBA, what happens? They go to the monitor and look at it and they call flagrant. They don't play around when you step in the shooting lane anymore because it could lead to injuries. So when we look at that, we're going, be consistent with your calls, protect your superstar players. Because again, if we get to the playoffs and we see a major superstar go down, like a Caitlin Clark, like a Nafisa Collier, which we did see, even though I don't think the play by Alyssa Thomas was egregious, fans are going to be outraged because it's building up and it's an important game. I know the Lynx lost in 4 games. With all that being said, it was a superstar player who went down. Fair or unfair, fans are going to be irate. They're going to be upset. Like, what are the refs doing? Why are they not protecting our superstars? And Collier had 0 free throw attempts. You're like, she should get some calls to go her way. So you can see the inconsistencies with the referees. And now all of a sudden, these players are changing their tone this year. Because it's happening to other players. But when it happened to Caitlin Clark, we're supposed to shut up and just watch them play basketball. No, that's not how it works. I just find it funny that the old media and the players of today would rather see somebody who can help grow this product, get them on the map. They'd rather see it suffer than see Caitlin Clark take it to the next level because they're jealous, they're upset. But the reality is she has brought more eyeballs to the WNBA. And without her presence, are we talking about the WNBA? No, we are not. It's not as popular. It is what it is for now. Can that change over time? Of course, but you have to embrace the changes that come along with new players, and they're going to bring more marketability to your product. But when you're just telling the fans, hey, it's a physical game, you got to embrace it. You got to realize there's a change between college and professional. Just be quiet and let us just entertain you. That's not going to bode well with your fans. So I just find it funny how things have changed since last year, and fans have been saying the same thing over and over again. It's egregious and it needs to be addressed. You can't just keep going on and allowing players to do whatever they want. It just isn't going to keep fans around.
But I think it's like gotten a little bit out of hand.
A little bit out of hand?
And I think that's what's led to the injuries. I think that's what's led to the crazy fatigue amongst players. I mean, on top of playing 44 games plus the playoffs. I think that they need to reel it in, and it's too late to do all this.
So yeah, we agree with you, Lexie, but I just find it hilarious how they have changed course. This person says, buddy, CC wasn't or hasn't never been target, has always been treated as everyone else. I find it funny when you see people on X make these statements. They don't watch these games. They don't tune in. They don't pay much attention to what's going on. And they just want to say whatever they want on the internet, and they just really look ignorant. But you know what? It is what it is. The old media needs to go. The players of the past who are embracing a Caitlin Clark and the changes that can help elevate their game, they need to go as well. 15 season-ending injuries this year. Fever had 6. Atlanta had 4. If they want to compare to the NBA, they need to stop the street thug play. Nobody watches for that. It doesn't showcase or show the player's skills. Try lying, but it doesn't pass the eye test. Dejanay Carrington, the poking of the eye to Caitlin Clark, nothing got done. And what happened this year? Oh, yeah. She was under fire after hair pulling controversy in Wings Sparks game, where she pulled the hair of Sarah Barker and nothing was done. When you enable these players to do whatever they want on the basketball court, it's going to cost you in the end. They got to get serious about this stuff. And people can make excuses or act like, oh, you know what? It's something else, as you see here. This got to be rage bait. Ain't no one fault. Fever's players are built like glass. Asia's still playing and dropping 30 plus every game. Blank y'all with your excuses. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and go that route, but you're not winning anybody over with that type of statement. Physicality for thee, but not for me. It's okay when it was happening to Caitlin, but now that we're getting hurt, we don't like it anymore. That's the thing. Now what's happening to other players, like, oh, we got to point out the refs. That's fine, but keep that same energy. Because when the Fever fans are talking about it, don't ignore them. When they watch the games, they're paying attention to the players. They're seeing how the games are reffed. It doesn't mean the Indiana Fever cannot improve. There was issues this season with fourth quarter woes, offensive slumps that did contribute to their losses, but the refs were really bad as well. And not just against the Fever, but with other teams. It's just unfortunate that players now want to talk about it, and it might be too late. We shall see if they can lock down a deal for the CBA. If they don't, it's going to be a long season for the WNBA if they don't get back on time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts about what Lexie Brown had to say about the players changing their tone when it comes to the refs this season. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.